Right, so welcome back to another video. A bit of a different one today. More of a just sit down, have a chat kind of video. Well, like podcast style, I guess, even though I don't really have a personality to do that kind of thing. So I asked people on my Instagram to ask me questions so that I can actually speak and have something to speak about. So yeah, I've got 7-8 questions just to go through. Some I think going to be useful for some people, and some are just like explaining what my future is and what I'm planning on doing going forwards. So I've got it all on my monitor screen here because obviously I'm filming on my phone because I don't have a camera yet. So yeah, it's all on the screen here. I'm just going to read them off one by one and go through them. So the first one is from Josh651. He's actually, I know he watches the videos, so shout out you, Josh. How has university impacted bodybuilding? I get this question quite a lot, especially while I was in prep. I had this question quite a lot because I was finishing my degree while in prep. And that could seem from the outside quite a hard thing to do, but I found it, I don't want to say easy, but I made it easier on myself just for a couple of things. So a routine, I made sure that basically the same thing every day. I was getting up at the same time, going to bed at the same time, allowing time before I had to be in uni to prep all my meals for the day, get some steps done or get cardio done before I even had to go into uni, so that everything bodybuilding related was set up for me throughout the day. So I wasn't stressing at the end of the day when I need to make a meal, I need to go and do steps. Like the majority of it was all done. If you can see I don't know if you can see my dog, but ignore him if you can see him. Yeah, have a routine, that's key. And then also just managing your time properly. The night before, understand what you've got the next day in terms of university requirements and plan your bodybuilding day around that, because obviously you're at uni, you're paying a lot of money to go be there. That should be the priority, and bodybuilding can fit in around that. So I guess, yeah, having a routine and managing your time well, so setting out when you're going to do everything and what you're going to do, and then allowing time to be a bit social as well. I wasn't very social especially my final year of uni. I probably should have been a bit more social, but I enjoyed what I was doing, so it didn't bother me too much. But I know a lot of people wanted to bodybuild and also want to go out and experience the university lifestyle as well. So I'd say in that regard, make sure you tick every box before you have your social evening plans or whatever you're doing, going out, having food, going out drinking, clubbing, whatever. And then also I'd suggest is prepping your meals for the next day. If you're going out clubbing, prep your meals for the following day so that when you get up in the morning, it's all done and ready for you. You don't have to, with a hangover, you don't have to worry about cooking meals and worrying about what time you ought to be up and everything. It's all done for you. Whenever you get up, you can crack on and start eating, and then go to the gym at some point if you're up for it, or take a rest day. But yeah, being on prep, definitely I had to be, I didn't go out, I just had to be regimented and be locked in. So yeah, that's how I manage it. Have a routine, have some structure about your day, prioritize the things that you need to prioritize, i.e. university should be a priority, and then throw in bodybuilding, make time for it, but again, make time for social stuff as well. Next one's from Mr. Joe Curl. Joe, I competed against twice in last season. He beat me at my first show, the first time show, and then I beat him at the PCA Natural show. He's asking, when are we seeing you on stage next? Next time I'll be on stage, my plan currently is end of 2026. At that point, I will still be a junior because I'll be 23. I don't turn 24 till February 2027. So I'll still be a junior. That gives me, from now, 2 years, which is pretty cool. Which would be about 18 month off season, and then including prep and like some mini cuts in between. So that's exciting. Whether I compete next year or not, I don't think I will. We'll see. We'll do a push up from end of prep until I basically, even with my appetite goes, which that won't be the first to go because I can eat, or start putting on a bit too much body fat. That'll probably be when we pull back. I don't know when that'll be. I would guess around May, June time. And see how we're looking. If we're looking good and there's a show in 6 weeks time, why not? But yeah, I'm not setting myself up thinking prepping next year. My prep is going to be 2026. That's what I plan to. And yeah, that's the goal at the moment. So next question is from Susie W Fitness. I've trained with her plenty of times. If you follow her on Instagram, you'll know her. She's also one of Jack's clients as well. Probably, arguably, the better client. I don't know. She won an overall, so I guess. But anyway, she asked, "What are your goals for 2025? Career, bodybuilding, training, uni." So currently, we'll do uni first. So I'm currently studying my masters in business. So I've literally finished my bachelor's degree in sport and exercise science. Got a first in that, and then literally finish that in May, September, straight into masters. I'm doing it at Reading, so I'm living at home, and then because I live near Reading, it's a half an hour drive into uni. So that's only a year course, so I'm doing that for this year. Alongside that, I currently have a part-time job at like a coffee shop, which it's all right. It gets me some money on the side. I'm in uni Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I try to anyway. So yeah, I keep busy. If I don't work or do anything, I get bored and I feel awful. So yeah, I try and keep busy. Bodybuilding wise is just grow next year. It's just grow. That's all I want to do. Put on as much size as possible while staying lean. Setting myself up for the best possible opportunity to have the best run into prep in 2026. That's the plan, bodybuilding wise. Career wise, I had another Mikey Jamroz. I'm sorry. He says, "What's your plans for future career?" You'll find out next week. In the video next week, I will put in a clip of what's happened, but there should be an announcement. Bailey. Regarding career, there was another question about career as well. It was from Mikey Jamroz. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. He said, "What's your plans for your future career?" There's something big in the works. I'm going to be... Actually, I'm not going to announce it because it'll be announced on Instagram on Sunday, Monday. And so if you don't follow me on Instagram, go and follow me. You'll find out then. But I will put it in next week's video. A little clip of the announcement. But that's very exciting. So look out for that in the next video next week. I'll get that out to you then. I think that covers everything from Susie. Yep. Yeah. Going into the next question, Teddy Pearson, training split going into the off season. So I think I've touched on this in a couple of videos before, but the training split has now changed from when I was doing prep. It has now changed to a 10-day split rather than a 7-day split. We are running push and arms, so chest and arms with a little bit of delts in there. Posterior, so it's literally just all back and then a bit of adductors and glutes at the end. Then an arm day, and rest, then delt focus push, which is just shoulders, triceps and a little bit of chest. Then it's pull again, pull again, then rest, then legs, then pull and arms, then rest. A 10-day split. So obviously our priority this year is to grow my back and arms. As you can see, I've got about 3 back days and I train arms like 4 times a week. They need to come up. They're my lagging body parts. They need to come up, whereas my legs are probably my strongest body part. So we've only got them in once every 10 days, which they're still growing from. So it's like the perfect split. And my back and arms have definitely improved slightly, even over the last 2 months since prep, 2.5 months since prep. So yeah, that's very exciting. I'm very excited to start running numbers up. I mean, I've put on 50 kilo on my stiff leg deadlift since prep. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's the plan going forward. I don't think it will change. We'll probably mix around some volume, maybe add some more hamstring volume in at some point, just because my quads are very dominating over my hamstrings. But yeah, on the whole, that's the training split going into the off season, and that will just be rinsed until I don't like it anymore, or we need to change it up because body parts have caught up with others. But yeah, next question is from JF Physique. So Jack Fisher, I competed against him in the BMBF Southerns. I beat him, but he went on to have a ridiculous season. He came, I think, 2nd or 3rd at the World Championships, which is Yeah, pretty cool. So well done, mate. He says, advice for keeping midsection looking tight as you transition out of prep with more food. Yep, I think it's a very good question. Personally, for myself, I don't think it will be much of an issue, just because of in my peak off, I'll put pictures up on the screen now, but peak off season last time compared to like a few weeks ago, my waist, even though it was quite wide in the off season, it gets back down to what it needs to be for prep. So it doesn't really affect me too much, but I know people will struggle with this, and it could become an issue for some people. So what I'd suggest is, one, not binging, because if you binge, you're going to be very bloated. You're going to be pushing your stomach out with all the food and all the water retention that you're going to be having from all the dirty food you're going to be eating. So don't binge. If you have an off plan, have the off plan and then get back on plan. Don't have the off plan, have a dessert, have some sweets when you get home, have some ice cream. No, just have the off plan, enjoy it, then just come back on plan. You're just going to ruin yourself physically and mentally if you just binge. And it could potentially push your midsection out and not keep it very tight. Another thing I suggest is making sure you're still eating food that digests very well for you, because if you're not and you're ending up being bloated from the food you're eating, you're going to be constantly bloated, and then that's again, it's going to not keep your waist very tight. You're going to be bloated, your stomach's going to be pushing out, and you're not going to be keeping that tight waist that you want. Like across all categories in bodybuilding, you want a small waist. So yeah, I keep that in mind. Then yeah, as your calories increase, I try and just keep the volume as low as possible. One, you're just going to keep your appetite high, because you're not going to be like drained and feeling like really full all the time, which means you're going to be able to eat more, grow more. There's loads of benefits. But yeah, keep the volume low so that you're not like really full after each meal. It digests well. Do so. Don't binge. Make sure everything digests well with you, and then keep food volume fairly low as well. The next question, Lenny DGGN. Hardest thing to manage transitioning from prep show to off season. I think for a lot of people, it's that gaining weight very quickly and being so regimented with everything with the one goal in mind that, I need to be as peeled as possible over the 6 months that you're prepping. And I think reversing out of that and then having to put body fat on just to get healthy again, it can really mess people's heads. Personally, I didn't find that too challenging. One, because I kept it very, very tight. Post show, I binged on the day after, but I then went and did loads of cardio and went into the sauna just to get rid of all the water retention, and I got back down to what I was on show day about 4 days later, and then I just slowly worked up calories from there. Didn't really have an off plan, only had an off plan when Jack told me to have one, and that helped a lot because I knew I was staying on track. Mentally I was like, I'm staying on track, I'm doing everything I need to do, so I'm going to be sound. I think it's the point where people just start having like bits and pieces here and there where they think, oh, it's okay, I'm not in prep anymore, I can have this and have that, and it gets a bit out of hand, and then they just start putting on excess water, which then becomes excess fat, or doesn't become, but you start putting on fat as well a bit too quickly, and that is very challenging mentally, I can imagine, when you've been in such good shape for such a long period of time, and then within a month's time you're back to it feels like back to square one. But yeah, there wasn't really anything that major that I had to deal with coming out of prep. I enjoyed the food that I was able to have. I enjoyed increasing my calories because I enjoy what I eat every day. I eat the same thing every day because I enjoy it, and I know that it's what my body needs to be productive in the gym and to progress, towards my goals as well. So yeah, there wasn't much to. I don't want to sound like cocky saying that there wasn't anything. I didn't really care about anything coming out of prep. Like, I was fine. Obviously, there was times where I'm like, oh, I don't really like the way I look or whatever. But on the whole, I'm like fairly happy with everything. Everything's gone well. But I stuck to the plan. It's because of the choices I made. I stuck to the plan. I did my cardio. I did my steps. I ate my meal plan. I did everything correctly, and that's why I've been able to transition out very easily. And yeah, and a lot of people don't really have a goal, and they struggle to find a goal because they've been focused on the same thing for however long in prep. But even though my goal is 2 years away, it's a big goal. I want to turn pro. So having that goal in mind, even though it's a long way away, I know I've got a lot of work to do. So I'm just gonna get after it. Like, it doesn't, just because it's far away, it doesn't mean it's not gonna come round quickly, and it doesn't mean that what you're doing now isn't going to affect it. It is. So I'm gonna be one step ahead and getting on with everything as quickly as possible, and productive as possible, to give myself the best chance of achieving the goal that I want to achieve in 2 years' time. So yeah. So that is the majority of the questions, and I realise I have waffled on quite a bit, so I'm going to leave it there. This is probably going to be like a 15-20 minute video anyway. So we'll leave it there. Follow me on Instagram to find out the announcement that I mentioned earlier. Same as the YouTube, HP Fitness, on Instagram. And I'll also put it in the video next week, announcing it. My plan next week is to do I think a pull day. I've got 2 pull days and a push and a arms day to film to complete the split, because I've done every week. I'm going to do a voiceover for the arms just to give you a few tips and advice on everything. If you'd want to see that for the pull day as well, leave a comment, let me know. But if you enjoyed this type of video, let me know. Leave a like, leave a comment, and I will catch you in the next one.